6 of the best cities in Europe for meeting girls in summer of 2022. Let's go! I picked these cities based on the hotness of girls there, the easiness of meeting them there, and how fun is the city to hang out in general. A lot has changed in Europe this summer, so some of these cities wouldn't have made the list last summer and some of them probably won't make the list next summer. But for this summer, I think these are the best cities to visit for a day game trip. I'm St. Robert, and for the last 4 years I've been teaching guys from all over the world, literally from Hong Kong to Germany to UK to US, Canada, Colombia, etc. how to meet, seduce and date the hottest girls around them. And for the last 2.5-3 years I've been living from city to city, traveling non-stop, looking for the cities with the hottest and most interesting girls, and simply a few cities where I want to spend a few months each year. We'll be talking about Riga, Latvia, Lisbon, Portugal, Tbilisi, Georgia, Warsaw in Poland, Prague in Czech Republic, and Budapest, Hungary. And we will start with Riga, Latvia. This is one of the cities that wouldn't be on this list a few years ago. But a lot has changed. Now there are many foreign students from places like Sweden, Norway, Germany, Finland, studying medicine and dentistry here. So the streets are full with young foreign students. Riga has become a very international city. When I coach students here in May, not only we met girls from all over Europe, but even from places like Lebanon. And now when the COVID is over and the summer season starts up again, it's full of tourists. If you want to meet girls on the street, then the best month to come to Riga is June. But if you like music festivals, then come to Latvia in July or August, because every weekend there are several music festivals going on some beaches, near lakes, etc. It's a crazy time for partying. Girls in Riga are way hotter than in Poland or Czech Republics. Not as hot as Ukrainians and Russians though. But now there are many Ukrainians and Russians who have moved to live in Riga, Latvia after the war started. Riga has very laid-back culture with people chilling in parks, many great bars and restaurants and outdoor venues. It's amazing. If you already know how to talk to girls on the street, then Riga is a must-visit place. If you're just starting out though, save Riga for later or for when you're getting day game coaching. I've made several videos about Riga, how to avoid the most typical scams, where to stay in the city, my favorite bars for dates, and things worth checking out in Latvia if you're tired from day game and dating. And next let's talk about Lisbon, Portugal. The best thing about Lisbon is you'll find all types of girls here. Digital nomads and expats from all over Europe and South America, and even hot girls from many African countries. Whatever you like, you'll find it in Lisbon, Portugal. That being said, Lisbon isn't the easiest city for beginners. You will need a pretty strong stop, a good opener, and be pretty good at stacking, so you have to be able to show intent. But if you have watched the Structured Natural Approach video series where I explain all the basics of a day game set, you should be doing pretty okay. And if you haven't watched it, then link to it is either in this or this corner. There are plenty of tourists in Lisbon, and whenever you meet a solo traveler, you should always try to go on an instant date with her and then do a few more venues and try to bring her home right then and there. And if you're talking about girls that live in Lisbon, then Lisbon is sort of like a first date lake country, so you will not have to waste time by going on 2 or 3 dates most of the time if you know what you're doing. There are very different areas in Lisbon where you can day game. You can go to the touristic parts of the city, you can go to the business districts, or you can even go to the beach and do some beach game. 2 things worth mentioning: Lisbon is not as cheap as other cities in this video, and it gets really hot during the summer, so maybe instead of going out between 5 and 7, you want to hit the streets a little bit later and try to meet some girls between 7 and 9 in the evening. And there is so much to do in Lisbon or around Lisbon when you're not day gaming. You can go to the beach, you can go sailing, surfing, kite surfing, visit some castles, some smaller towns, fishermen villages, etc. etc. There aren't a lot of guys who are actively hitting the streets in Lisbon. Well, at least not guys who know what they're doing. So if you are dedicated to go out regularly, work on your game, and meet some hot girls from all over the world, Lisbon offers everything you need. Next, let's talk about a city I wouldn't even consider a year ago, but now with everything that's going on in Ukraine, it has become a very good day game city. Tbilisi in Georgia. If you're talking about the local Georgian girls, then, well, they're not the hottest girls in the world. They're fairly traditional, but they might be more open-minded if they meet a foreigner. But we're not going to Georgia for Georgian girls. We're going there for tourists. Finally, the tourism sector in Georgia is recovering and it's back to 65% to the peak it had reached before. There are many tourists from Russia, many Russians who work remotely, and more than 50,000 Russians moved to Georgia after the war started. And the same goes for Belarusian girls. If they were working online, for example, as software developers or doing something else for a foreign company, if they stayed in Minsk, they couldn't receive payment for their work. So more than 10,000 Belarusians have moved to Georgia. And the good news about them, their English level is better than the Russian girls. And if you're talking about Ukrainians, then there are enough Ukrainians who moved to Georgia even before the war started. And when the war started, the Ukrainians who are moving to Georgia are doing pretty okay in their lives because Georgia doesn't have enough money in the country, or the government isn't rich enough to provide a lot of support for war refugees. So you will meet girls that are fitness trainers and working in beauty industry and in general are doing pretty okay for themselves. And now let's talk about people from Middle East. Because of the strict regime in Iran, some middle and upper class people from Iran are moving to Georgia too, and they are the less conservative Iranians. You won't see a lot of them walking their traditional religious outfits on the streets. And you will also see a fair share of tourists from the oil countries, especially middle of the summer when they have sandstorm season that they're trying to get away from. Not only you will meet girls from Middle East, but also girls from third world countries who live and or work in Middle East. For example, some girls who live or work in Dubai, some pretty hot girls from some African countries, etc. There aren't as many tourists from Europe, so if you want to get away from the people you see everywhere else, then maybe Georgia is the place for you. And if you want to do something on a beach, there is a touristic city called Batumi. If I'm not mistaken, it has 300,000 people and quite a few tourists, and I've heard tourists in Batumi are a bit more open-minded. And city number 4, Warsaw, Poland. Poland is known as the Seventh Heaven. It's full with nice, good-looking girls. If you are looking for the hottest girls, if you're looking for those stunners, then Poland is not a place to go to because you will see maybe 1 or 2 of them a day. Warsaw has become a popular tourist hotspot for solo travelers from Russia, Belarus, and Ukraine. And of course, as everyone knows, it has many Belarusians and Ukrainians living there for years. Also, you'll meet a bunch of tourists from Western Europe, from all the stans, and even from places like South Korea. Warsaw is also known for gutter game. There is an area near a river that's full with bars and hipster places, so you might want to go there at night and try to meet some girls who are leaving a party and are on their way home. If you compare it to places like Lisbon, Warsaw won't be the prettiest city, but it's clean, girls speak good English, people are nice, polite, and it's full with cute girls. And that's why people like it. There are many guys going to Warsaw to meet the beautiful Polish and Russian and Ukrainian and Belarusian girls. And even though, yes, there are quite a few day gamers there, most of the girls are still fairly receptive when you approach them on a street. Prague in Czech Republic. Prague is maybe the most popular day game destination in Europe, especially now when Kiev in Ukraine isn't an option anymore. Prague has definitely not been on my to-visit Daygame City list for the last few years, but again, things have changed. It was so funny seeing that Prague was still so popular for guys to go to meet girls when the COVID started, because the day gamers were still going there, but the tourists were not, and the only reason to go to Prague to meet girls is for the tourists. All you had in Prague was a bunch of guys and local girls who have been approached countless times before. But now things have changed and Prague is full of tourists again, from Russia, Belarus, and all over the world. It has become much more expensive now after the war started, with so many people moving to Prague. The Airbnb prices have skyrocketed. But if you want a city in Europe that's the easiest for meeting girls, this is it. Prague is an amazing city to start polishing your day game skills at. If you're going there and you haven't done so yet, watch the first 5 videos of the Structured Natural Approach video series before going there. You will learn what exactly to say and how to behave in the beginning of a conversation to make sure she actually stops, and instead of saying, yeah, I gotta go, I'm late, I have a boyfriend, actually wants to talk with you. And the last city on the list, Budapest, Hungary. Petite girls with amazing tits and booties, countless bars, nice parks and coffee shops where you can sit down and get some work in front of your laptop done, and it's cheap as fuck. The thing is, Budapest has seen many guys going there to meet the local girls, so you might want to stay away from the most popular areas for day gamers. I'm talking the shopping street, but you'll find many other parts in the city full with beautiful local girls. I would say out of all the places on this list, Budapest has the hottest girls. This city is not as easy as other places on the list, but it's definitely worth visiting if you're going there for more than just a few days, and bonus points if you actually like going to bars and clubs and talking to people there. The one thing you will need to know how to do in Budapest is how to do a strong front stop. So watch this video to learn more about it. And yes, just as Prague, Budapest has become way more expensive. It used to be easy to get a place for a month for 600 to 800 euro, but that's not the case anymore. But that being said, the bars and coffee shops are still cheap. And if you know something more about these cities that you want to add, or you know other great day game cities that for whatever reason are extremely good this summer, then mention that in the comments section below. And if you want to ask extra questions about these cities or other cities in Europe, then you can do so in our group chat, where we have around 300 guys from literally all over the world. Some of the guys who actually provided most of the research for some of the cities in this video. You can join the group chat by going to my website saintrobert.blog, joining the mailing list, and in the welcome email you'll get an invitation link to join the group chat. If you're not only going out, but you're starting to get some numbers and some dates, then I have several free dating and texting courses on daygamecourses.com, where you will learn everything you need about texting to get a girl out on a date, and everything you need to know about what to do on a date to get her from meeting to going back to your place. And if you decide that instead of spending countless hours learning day game on your own, you prefer to learn it by getting some infield coaching, then I have a few more coaching spots left available this summer. You can click on the link in the description, read everything about how the coaching usually works, fill the form at the bottom of the page, and I'll get back to you with all the details, the dates, the cities, the prices, and everything else. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next video.